supply chain systems. Today, we have Mr. Swarup Bose, CEO and founder of Celcius Logistics Solutions. Swarup, I'd like to hand it over to you to kick off the discussion and to an exciting session on cold storages in India. Over to you, Swarup.
Great. Thanks a lot. And if you can give me the sharing rights, I'll start off with my presentation. Hello. Yeah, hi. I'm sorry, there seemed to be some technical difficulty. I got logged out of the system.
Yeah.
I'm back now. I'll just start with my presentation. Sorry about that, everyone. Good morning, and thank you, IMI, for giving me this opportunity to present my thoughts on such a stage. Before I introduce myself, let me introduce to you the world of cold chain, one of the most critical and important arm of the entire logistics framework, especially highlighted early on in the pandemic for transportation of perishable goods across the country under strict lockdown conditions, and later for the ever so important distribution of COVID vaccine to every part of our nation. The cold supply chain deals with any perishable cargo from dairy, pharmaceuticals, fresh agriculture produce, seafood, meat, and even your fast food chains like McDonald's, Domino's, KFC, etc. The infrastructure around the cold chain is at a nascent stage in India, with a huge shortage in the assets required to form an effective network spanning a country like ours. Coming to my introduction, I'm Swarup Bose, CEO and founder of Celcius Logistics Solutions, with 2 decades of experience in cold chain logistics and manufacturing. Having launched our startup in the midst of the pandemic, we were fortunate enough to be of service to the nation when it was required by creating an information highway of everything cold chain. The market size of cold chain in India is currently at 18 billion US dollars with a growth rate of 18% CAGR, effectively doubling every 4 to 5 years. This outshines any sector in the logistics segment by a big margin, and the best is yet to come. 7,645 cold storages with 35 million tons of storage capacity. Sounds great. But unfortunately, we use more than 60% of this to store potatoes and other seasonal items. And for a good part of the year, the storages remain empty. We currently require close to 2 lakh reefer trucks on the road, and we have 40 to 50,000 only. And that too are underutilized as this segment is completely offline. Proper temperature management systems and live monitoring of the products are lacking. Understanding the need for a robust cold chain system will lead to eventual decrease in the wastage of these perishable commodities, whether they are fresh fruits and vegetables or medicines being carried on at a specific temperature, like the COVID vaccines. The life cycle of any perishable product is shown here, making sure that at every point from post-harvest or post-manufacturing, is monitored, maintained, will guarantee that the end consumer gets the best possible and safe version of the product. Transportation of these perishable cargo happens primarily via roadways, railway corridors, and shipping lines for imported products. Distribution to the last mile is generally carried out by smaller reefer vehicles. Unfortunately, what we lack here is the infrastructure or smaller cold rooms at a wholesale market level, and this leads to tons of fruits, vegetables, and other perishables being disposed of every day. Cold storages play a critical role in this, right from the pre-cooling at the grassroots level to secondary and last mile storing and distribution. We need multiple touch points in the cold chain ecosystem, and there is a huge scope for growth in the cold chain warehousing sector across India. This is a segment where you can invest in any city, whether it be tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, and reap the benefits of being one of the few to affect change on a national level. $1.3 trillion of wastage of food and perishables is what has been recorded and studied. The main reason for which always has been blatantly clear: lack of proper cold storage and reefer transportation facilities. Surplus production is not seen as a boon, but today it's a lost opportunity as demands tend to be in range. Supply shortfalls due to lack of delivery mechanisms creates a vacuum which increases the price of these commodities. What we need today is an ecosystem where we can track the entire life cycle of the perishable product, right from the time they leave the farm or to the point of consumption. With IoT devices like GPS and temperature sensors installed in vehicles and cold storages, along with transport management systems and warehouse management systems being fed into a central data mining operation, we now have the technology to monitor the entire network. What we need is more adaptability by the cold supply chain players to upgrade existing systems with these offerings. Our government has taken notice of this and has been effectively promoting good practices to enhance our cold chain network and strengthen the supply chain. With food parks, food processing centers, post-harvest units, and subsidies from entities like MOFPI, NHM, NHB, APEDA, and other state and central government entities, we have seen growth on a large scale even during the lockdown when the world came to a standstill. This next segment, I would be covering some of the innovations and products that have come up to strengthen our cold chain. Some of them specially designed to answer the need of ideas for storing and distributing vaccines across the world, while minimizing wastage of every vial of this life-saving medicine. PCM, which is phase change material, has come up as a solution over using dry ice, which was used to pack any temperature-controlled pharmaceutical product. Phase change material is green technology and reusable, capable of maintaining up to minus 40 degrees temperature up to 72 hours without any external power. This has been used on a large scale to distribute COVID vaccines, and companies like B Medical System, Plus, Tessol have come up with innovative solutions which can be used for a variety of applications. Eutectic reefer systems. Now, this is another part of the new innovations which has come up, and this idea is pretty much ahead of its time. This brings forth the possibility of seeing an all-electric cargo vehicle segment in the reefer industry. This runs on an electrical charging system, and these have been designed to carry the product for a longer time over longer distances using road and surface transportation. Eutectic technology is also used to create freezers which can hold negative temperatures over a long time and are specifically useful in areas where electricity supply is scarce. Thermal imaging systems, which make sure that cold storages and reefer vehicle are checked for any leakages and pilferages in temperature. This acts like a preventive deterrence towards loss of temperature, thus decreasing wastage of products during transit and storage. Multi-temperature compartment vehicles. Now, this is an effective solution when you're trying to carry part load of different products at different temperature. Generally, a vehicle is designed for a single temperature. So if you're carrying butter, you're probably carrying it at minus 18 degrees, and the whole vehicle is being used for that. But we are seeing a huge demand in the market where you need to carry separate products at different temperatures on longer distances. This connects the whole country in a much better fashion. Multi-temperature vehicles is a solution to that. With ducting system and the kind of airflow technology that is being used, we are able to now carry different products at multiple temperatures in the same vehicle. You can carry negative 20-degree products in one compartment, positive 20-degree products in the next compartment, and it's possible to design vehicles which can carry up to 4 different temperature products in the same vehicle. This enables transportation of smaller quantities of perishable cargo over longer distances at a fraction of the cost it is being paid today. Warehouse monitoring systems have always existed, but they have got recent upgrades. Now, not only inventory, but live monitoring of temperatures in a big warehouse of your particular product is feasible. And this has created a true end-to-end monitoring system. Every product, every box which is scanned upon entry into the tracked and tracked to its storage location in the warehouse, we are able to get live temperature data which is pushed to our software and which can be checked on the website or any Android phone. Keeping a watch on the inventory is now easier as the native systems push the data onto our servers on an immediate basis. You can keep a watch on your inventory, the incoming and the outgoing. You can check the temperature while it is in the warehouse. You can check the temperature when it goes out. You can keep a track of all this till the end consumer gets your product. The primary logistics in India covers the world's second largest roadway, almost 6 million kilometers of road. And there is seldom a road where you won't see a truck. Surface transport is the backbone of the perishable cargo sector. Air cargo is expensive, and food items, uh, fresh produce, really cannot afford to be sent in an air cargo. They cannot be used for low-cost items. Our trucking industry has shown its grit during the lockdown when the world was stuck at home. Our truck drivers braved every hurdle and made sure every corner of India gets fresh fruits, vegetables, dairy, frozen products, and medicines. What you see here is Celcius having mapped many routes across India for primary movements. We have successfully connected more than 90 cities and 120 smaller locations by utilizing the assets to the maximum. Connecting the unused reefer vehicles and cold storages using a network created by Celcius has helped us to scale up operations rapidly. If we speak about last mile delivery, then we need to acknowledge the fact that electric vehicles is the wave of the future. And already, as a first in India, we are seeing huge innovations for creating last mile reefer vehicles, which are completely electric in nature, maintaining temperatures in the negative degrees on a single charge. Charging infrastructure is on the rise, especially in densely populated cities, with many startups coming with solutions of their own. We are confident that in years to come, these kind of vehicles will become a norm and necessity. Made out of lightweight materials like fiber reinforced plastic with polyurethane foam for insulation, these vehicles have a range of 150 to 200 kilometers and are low on maintenance. It's of utmost importance that we strengthen our last mile logistics for B2B and B2C models, as that is where the final push to get the products in the hand of the consumers happen. And the more the product stays usable, the more you can sell it, and the lesser they will cost eventually. Reducing cost of last mile deliveries using a network of smaller vehicles will result in overall reduction in wastage and eventual cost benefit, especially for fresh produce. Using the multi-temperature technology in smaller vehicles, we at Celcius have been able to experiment with some solutions for the last mile in an effort to reduce prices and reduce wastage. This vehicle that you see is being used to carry cheese at +2 degrees, butter at -18 degrees, and some ambient products all in the same small vehicle. With Celsius system as the backbone, we are able to not only monitor the whole vehicle, but we are able to monitor each compartment live, thereby making sure these products stay at the right temperature till the point where they are unloaded. The mission statement of my company has always been reduce wastage by offering innovative solutions and affecting change for the masses. And every innovation we do, every step we take is towards this goal. Let me take the next couple of slides to introduce my company, Celcius Logistics Solutions, India's first online marketplace specially designed for the entire cold supply chain. With a software-based approach, we bring the entire network and operations of cold chain online. Live tracking, temperature monitoring at the click of a button. We have created a network where you can keep a track of your product from the point of manufacturing to the point of consumption. Visibility, traceability, and user experience is the heart of our product. We have enabled a lot of smaller transporters and low-income group people with our Vahan Vikas Yojana, enabling them to use our network free of cost to access loads across India. We assure them a minimum guarantee scheme when they run their vehicles with us. This enables them to have a safer and alternate source of income, and we hope to make the next billion entrepreneur out of this group. Celsius works on every aspect of the cold chain, right from manufacturing, primary storage, secondary storage, and distribution, and finally last mile delivery to hospitals, malls, and your homes. We can be connected for any leg of the journey a perishable product takes. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
So there's certain questions in the group, in the chat that I've shared.
Yeah, I'm just trying to access the chat from here. Sorry, can you read them out for me? So I'm not able to.
Yes, it is. The first question is, can cold storage used by businesses for purposes like food storage can be modified for vaccine?
Yeah, obviously, cold storages are not specially designed for any one product. They are used for multiple commodities. The only important thing to here to understand is whenever you design a cold storage, especially when you're designing a cold storage today, there are certain systems that you need to put in, like racking systems. You need to put in proper temperature monitoring systems, and these can be used for multiple products. We have enough cold storages with us which keep pharmaceutical products in one compartment and food products in the other compartment. So utilizing the asset for multiple products helps in getting the asset used and throughout the year without keeping them empty.
Okay. We have another question, question number 2. It is, how can the large untapped potential of India in terms of cold storage and transportation be realized?
Okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Large untapped?
How can the large untapped potential of India's cold storage and transportation be realized? So
That's what Celsius is working on. The whole concept of my company, Celsius Solutions, is tapping these unused assets. What we have done is we are an aggregator where we are getting the cold storages and reefer trucks, everything online. We connect them to the shippers. We connect them to shippers like Amul, to Parag Dairy. We connect them to Mother Dairy. We are enabling even the smallest of the cold storage owners in the most remote city. We upgrade them with the latest of technology offerings. And when we onboard them, we allow them to interact with these kind of companies. Now, this not only helps use of the cold storage, this also helps the bigger companies expand their reach to smaller cities. And that's where exactly Celsius comes in.
We have a third question. The third question is there a supply deficit of transporters and how can that be solved?
Absolutely. There is a huge supply deficit, not just of transporters, there is a deficit of cold storages also. Like I mentioned in my presentation, today we need close to 2 lakh reefer trucks on the road. Now, these are trucks, small, big, all size of trucks, and we have close to 50,000. That's the kind of deficit that is there today. But the kind of growth that we are seeing in the industry, this deficit is only expanding. So we are trying to enable a lot of private parties to come into this segment, and Celsius helps out in setting up all this. We work as consultants for you till you're ready to go out in the market. That's just to boost the kind of assets we need.
We have question number 4. It is how can the lead time be reduced in cold storage supply chains?
Uh,
The
if
lead time.
lead time, I'm not sure what you mean by the lead time, but if you're talking about transit time and storing it
I think it
at
means
different
transit time
locations.
and storing and everything.
See, cold supply chain, one of the most important points here is we need to have many more touch points. If you are manufacturing in Maharashtra and distributing to all over India, what you need is many more touch points where your product can go, stay for a brief period of time before they are distributed locally. After the GST regime, satellite warehousing is a concept. Sorry, satellite warehousing is a concept which has come into picture. Unfortunately, we don't have enough facilities to bring that into effect. And that is the reason we are looking at growing number of warehouses being converted into cold storages. And that's how you will reduce the time required for the whole transit, for the whole storing and distribution.
We have question number 5. I think we have one of the last questions. Is
I
that
yeah, yeah, I'll read it out. I just found out the chat button here. What further impetus from the government is needed by cold storage companies to be able to capture the entirety of potential market? That's an excellent question, sir. The government is doing its part, very honestly. It has been doing so for the past 7, 8 years. If you see the cold chain market in India, which was existing about 7, 8 or 8 years back, we were in a pitiful condition. The government has been pushing for food processing centers, food parks, cold storages. They have been giving subsidies. Almost every state government have their own subsidy schemes. Central government have their own subsidy schemes. MOFPI, Ministry of Food Processing Industry, has been established with the single aim that cold chain solution in India has to go ahead. So government is doing its part. What we need is private players taking use of this. Unfortunately, the kind of subsidies that the government offers, we end up utilizing only 30-35% of it. And its major part of it is because there are not a lot of private players who are converting into cold chain. And the reason for it is lack of domain skill, domain knowledge. What we do at Celsius is offer that skill, we offer that knowledge. We not just help you set it up, we help you run it, we help you get connected to the world of cold chain. That's what we are trying to do with the help of the government subsidies. We can guide you whenever you need to set up something like this.
All right, so we don't have any other questions, Swarup, in terms of that. So, uh, thank you, delegates, for listening to an exciting session on cold storage in India and its impact. I'm sure the relevance of cold storage will be deeper as we grow as an economy. To conclude, I would like to thank our partners, our registration partner MapMy India, CX partner Zendesk, session partner Shiplight, silver partner Fretron, knowledge partner Supply Chain Labs, industry partner PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Swarup sir. And delegates, please look forward to upcoming sessions at Logistics Tech 2021. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.